Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from a viewer with a truly curious username, What the Buzz 93. Thanks for the question, Buzz. You asked, why do some light bulbs buzz when turned on? This is one of those questions that seems small until you're sitting alone in your kitchen at midnight and your ceiling light sounds like it's warming up for a bee-themed jazz solo. So, what's the deal? Why are some light bulbs dead silent while others hum like a broken karaoke machine? Let's shed some light on it, right here on Explaining Everything. Okay, imagine you flip a light switch. The bulb turns on. Great! But instead of peaceful silence, you hear a faint buzz. That sound isn't the bulb trying to communicate with aliens. It's actually a result of vibration, often caused by fluctuating electricity. Electricity isn't just a quiet stream of power. It pulses. In most homes, it flows in what's called alternating current, or AC. That means the electric current changes direction. Get this, 60 times a second in the US, 50 if you're overseas. Now, when this pulsing current flows through certain parts of the light bulb, like the filament in an incandescent bulb, or the electronic components in compact fluorescents and LEDs, it can cause those parts to physically vibrate. And when something vibrates fast enough, your ears pick it up as sound. Congratulations! Your light bulb is now singing a tiny, annoying power ballad. Let's start with the OG of the light bulb world, the incandescent. These are the classic bulbs with a little glowing wire inside. They've been around forever. They get real hot, and they're pretty inefficient. But hey, nostalgia. In incandescence, the buzzing usually comes from the filament, that skinny wire inside. Since the filament is super thin and being slammed with an AC current 60 times a second, it can start to vibrate just a bit. And voila, buzzing. It's a little like a tuning fork made of electricity and bad timing. Then came the CFL bulbs, those curly ones that look like a soft-serve ice cream cone that majored in engineering. These bulbs work completely differently. They send electricity through gas inside the bulb, which creates ultraviolet light. You know, the invisible stuff that tans you and confuses bugs. That UV light then hits a phosphor coating inside the tube, which glows. But here's the kicker. CFLs require a ballast, a little electronic control unit that regulates the current. If that ballast is cheap, faulty, or just having a bad day, it can buzz. Loudly, like I can't enjoy my dinner levels of buzzing. Some CFLs are just naturally noisy because of poor design. Others buzz when they're put on dimmer switches, which is like trying to make a microwave whisper. It's not going to end well. Now we're in the modern age. LEDs. These guys are efficient, long-lasting, and generally very quiet. But generally isn't always. LEDs also need drivers, little circuits that manage how power gets delivered to the diodes inside. And just like with CFLs, if those drivers are poorly made or mismatched with your home's wiring, you can get buzzing. Also, dimmer switches strike again. Most dimmers were originally made for incandescent bulbs, which dim differently than LEDs. So, when you use an old dimmer with a fancy LED, it's like forcing a robot to waltz. things get weird and buzzy. Speaking of dimmers, yes, they're a major suspect in this mystery. Dimmers don't just reduce the flow of electricity. Most of them chop up the AC waveform, rapidly switching the current on and off to make the bulb seem dimmer. It's kind of like flashing the lights really fast, but so fast your eye doesn't notice. But your bulb? Oh, your bulb notices. Especially if it's sensitive or wasn't designed to handle that kind of electrical strobe show. Result: buzzing. So if you hear buzzing and you've got a dimmer switch, congrats! You may have found your villain. Good news! The buzzing itself usually isn't dangerous. It's just annoying, like that one guy who brings a harmonica to every camping trip. But it can be a sign of poor wiring, a failing component, or incompatible hardware. So if it gets louder over time, starts to flicker, or smells even a little like burning plastic, maybe stop using that bulb. Just a thought. So, to recap, when your light bulb buzzes, what you're hearing is the sound of tiny electrical vibrations. Basically, parts inside the bulb are shaking ever so slightly because of how alternating current works. It's like your bulb is quietly throwing a microscopic dance party 60 times a second. Most of the time, the buzz is harmless, just a quirk of certain designs or materials. But when you add in cheap components, mismatched dimmer switches, or older electrical setups, the buzzing gets worse and a whole lot more noticeable. It's not haunted, it's not trying to send Morse code, and no, you're not losing your mind. It's just science being a little annoying. If you learned something new and now know how to deal with those buzzing sounds, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another light bulb moment from us. And hey, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.